I'm stuck in the 60s and 70s a lot of the time with my stuff, you know.
I looked that up. I was like, I should know more about this, especially since we just went to the moon and all of that, right?
I was fascinated by that. And I always say that's pretty much what got me into music. It's the drums.
Yeah.
You know, I think,
Yeah.
because, you know.
You're like the end, the drums. All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Everybody Gets 15 Minutes here at Waterloo Records in Austin, Texas. A quick conversation with some of our favorite acts we have the privilege of hosting live, in-store, and right here on our own stage. I'm Gus Ochoa, and this is Forrest Cazayoux of Cazayoux.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to Waterloo Records.
Appreciate you.
I know we talked before I started. I was saying Cazayoux all week. And so I'm glad I asked you. It's Cazayoux.
Yeah, Cazayoux. I say it Cazayoux, but it comes out Cazayoux around here sometime, but no big deal. Cazayoux.
You were saying this is your first time in the new shop?
I came a while back to just kind of check it out, and there was an event happening for South by.
Oh, yeah.
It was called EQ Austin.
Okay.
And it was a meet and greet here, and that was my first time coming in.
Oh, yeah, for the South by artists, the Austin South by artists. Yep. Oh, very cool. I think the city of Austin had something to do with that, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
They helped out with that, and it was a great event, and that was my first time seeing the place, this new setup, and very impressive.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you get a chance to visit 6th and Lamar before? The old one? Yeah.
Yeah, my wife loves to eat at 24 Diner.
Oh, man.
On Sunday brunch time.
Yeah. I won't tell you how many times Cory, our marketing director, and I went over there just to have a bite and whatnot.
Hash.
Yeah, great folks over there. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk a little bit about your history for folks who are listening who may not know Cazayoux. How are we here together today? I've read New Roads, Louisiana, which I didn't know was a city.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, all right. Drummer.
Yeah.
You were captivated by Mardi Gras.
Yep.
Like, what's the story? How did you end up here in Austin?
You pretty much got it right. New Roads, very small town, a little north of Baton Rouge off the Mississippi River. They have a famous Mardi Gras parade every year. And just so happened to where the first house where I was growing up on the main street, that's where the parade started.
Okay.
So in the morning, I would just hear bass drums and snare drums and horns and brass, everybody warming up. I was fascinated by that. And I always say that's pretty much what got me into music. My journey kind of carried me to Lafayette. I went to school in Lafayette at South Louisiana Community College.
Okay.
Shout out
to community colleges everywhere.
Yes.
ACC, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, man. And I started sort of playing in the scene in Baton Rouge and Lafayette and rock bands and blues bands and stuff. And I was in a band that was pretty serious in Lafayette called Swamp Brew.
Okay.
And those guys, I guess they had some, friends here in Austin kind of working in the scene, doing the music thing.
And how old were you around then?
At that time, I was just finishing up school, so around probably 21, 22.
All right, cool. That sounds like a good time to move to Austin.
Yeah. I think I got here in 2018.
Uh-huh.
Just on that, like, all right, let's see what it is. I have an uncle here and an aunt, my godfather. So I just called them up and I said, hey, they always used to kind of say, hey, if you ever want to come to Austin and move to Austin, we'll put you up for a little while.
Oh, man, that's a softest landing. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really cool to have relatives where you're going.
And I was very lucky to, one of my uncle's friends, he employed me right away. And so I called the guy before I moved here and I was like, hey, can I have a job, while I try to get this music thing going? And landed 2018 in my uncle's house for 2 months, moved out of there, started gigging around, started doing the scene.
Yeah.
Really what incubated this band, was Sahara Lounge. Lounge.
Absolutely, man. I have friends and my partner, she loves going there. Like Africa Night was like a big thing for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Africa Night, what a special night here in town every Saturday. But when I got here, I was looking for something that reminded me a little bit of home, a little bit of New Orleans, or a little bit of, kind of like Texas down home feel dive bar.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine that was in the band at the time, this was now heavy COVID, fast forward 2 years.
Okay. So
now COVID time's happening and Sahara Lounge was doing tapings. A friend invited me to a taping and then I walked in and saw the band and one of the guys playing, his name's Abu. He's in my band, but he's a world-class djembe, world-class balafon, traditional West African music. and it was very funky, Afrobeat kind of thing happening. And, you know, I met him. We struck up a friendship right away. And it just so happened that band, you know, needed a drummer.
Nice.
And so I said, well, I'm available, you know.
That's great when stuff works out like that.
Man,
That's, I mean, that couldn't be more organic, it feels like.
You know, I met a few people through Sahara Lounge and a few people, you know, just gigging around in the scene with different people. And this idea kind of dawned on me to like, hey, let's just do it, man. Let's start recording some music and see if we can get a gig, you know. Here we are, man.
Yeah.
This is our, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We put out a live record, but this is going to be our 3rd studio album.
Nice.
So, produced by Nico Leofonte.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that a little bit later. That guy's in The Point.
Yes.
Yeah. We were speaking earlier. Alex Marrero has talked to them as well. And yeah, they're great.
Man, yeah. The Point, amazing. And Nico, an amazing drummer.
Yes.
We crossed paths, and immediately, again, same thing kind of with Abu. We were tight right away. And he's produced great stuff with The Point and all kind of different artists, right? You know, at his spot. Say, why not, man? You want to produce one? You know, let's work together. Let's collaborate. And man, he really put his heart and soul into this one. Nico is a great dude through and through.
Yeah. And to have a guy like that, like on your side being like, yeah, I'll do it. It's like, really? Cool.
He helped this along tremendously, man.
Well, him being a drummer, did that help you, the two of you connect? Like a little bit more on what it was you wanted to get out of this. Yeah,
we definitely are playing in similar styles, you know, kind of like a world music, funk, jazz sort of world, you know. And he had an idea of what sound that, you know, he heard when he saw us and saw me playing and saw the band. He had that in his mind, I believe, right away, or he just had ideas. So it just only felt right to work with him on this. And, you know, like I said, he went above and beyond.
Yeah.
He's producer, engineer, you know, tracking engineer, just kind of do it all type of dude, you know?
Oh man, that's huge. And again, to have somebody that, I mean, talented and like dialed into what you're doing as well, though. Like that really helps. That seems to be like a theme of folks I talk to in here. They talk about, you know, people who sort of run parallel with them, you know?
Yeah.
And how those folks in one way or another, whether it's like a manager or like an engineer or a musician or, you know, but having that level of comfort with somebody to where you're like, hey, you and I, we're right here. We got this right here. I think that's amazing. So let's talk about the record. The latest tune, latest collection of tunes is called Alpha Centauri.
Yes.
The closest star system to ours. I looked that up. I was like, I should know more about this, especially since we just went to the moon and all of that, right? I should think about that a little bit. Is this in reference to that, obviously?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where does that title come from? Like why Alpha Centauri?
That tune, the title track, is definitely like a step in a new direction for us, because normally we're an instrumental band.
Okay.
But most of these tunes are collaborative effort.
Yeah.
But some guys, they'll bring in songs that's already done, and we sort of like, you know, work together to kind of make it what we all like together. But so the writing is definitely collaborative.
Is that important, being a collective like that, for everybody to feel like they're on the same page kind of thing? Like,
yeah,
I mean, who drives it, I guess? And you're the driver. Right, the quarterback, as a friend of mine would say. But it's important to have everybody on the same page.
Oh man, absolutely, and everybody get the credit that they deserve. I couldn't write these songs by myself, or do this project, or, you know, do any of these gigs without, you know, these wonderful musicians, people, songwriters. You know, the Alpha Centauri thing. Back to that, it has vocals on it, and you know, just the sound of the song, it definitely felt like a space, you know, outer space kind of feeling. And that's sort of what we were going for, you know. So from the first track to the last track, you know, it's kind of like a journey that starts, you know, and ultimately ends in Alpha Centauri. But I guess it's more of like an inner journey, just the growth that we all go through as a human and in life. You know, that's sort of my idea and concept for the album. You know, and the music, very proud of it.
That's amazing. So it's like a step-by-step kind of journey. Is it a concept record in that way?
Not necessarily.
Yeah? Okay.
No, Alpha Centauri, that song happened. I guess there was no concept of any story like that going into recording. I just had some demos, and I had some people that was ready to work, and some guys that brought tunes in, and Nico wanted to produce something and work. We just put it together, and then, you know, the last song we recorded ended up being Alpha Centauri, and it was just like, boom, there it is. There's the concept right there.
Yeah, I mean, and again, what a great concept and timely. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's like space was in my entire social media feed.
Oh yeah,
and I just became obsessed with it again, and it's like a very emotional kind of obsession, you know, which is really cool. It's great to have that kind of like, I don't know, that symbiotic kind of thing going on with thinking about another galaxy far, far away kind of thing. Alpha Centauri, the track, I listened to that this morning. It blew me away, man. Like I was on the way in and I was thinking Daft Punk, like Jungle, like it was like in that same realm. It wasn't just like sort of the instrumental like that you were talking about. It was wild.
And I do have to give credit too to Tate Christian. He's in the band. He plays Hammond organ, keys, and he was the one singing. He wrote the lyrics and sort of had that concept for the song. It was just so good. And Nico, it's funny you say Daft Punk. You know, Nico kind of led the charge of the, you know, production of this tune. We were just blown away by it. It's like, all right, that's the album right there. And, it, you know, it makes so much sense now. It's like you don't know really what you're going for until you get there on a project or recording project. And it just kind of comes at the end sometimes, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. And for our listeners, like when Forrest Says comes at the end, I'd say start with that. It's a good gateway track. It's really tremendous, man. Like, and again, I say this all the time. I love music that I can't pin down, right? Like what genre it is kind of thing. I was getting that very Daft Punk, that very jungle kind of vibe mixed with what Cazayoux does. I want to talk about a few more if that's okay. Measurable Progress is another one I really dug. Yes. It's got such a chill, almost like underwater feel. Like it kind of reminds me of Walking on the Moon. Oh, that old Police track with the echo effect on the rim shots.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm talking about Walking on the Moon here again. We're going back to space.
Yeah, see, it all kind of, it makes sense when we're talking about space and calling it Alpha Centauri, even though we didn't go in the studio thinking this is our concept. But that song, Immeasurable Progress, and thank you for listening and, man, and the kind words.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. That tune, Immeasurable Progress, was brought to the band by Damien. He's our tenor sax player.
Okay.
Man, he just sent me a video. He's from New Mexico originally.
Oh, wow. What a beautiful place.
Yeah. And he went home for, you know, I guess to spend some time with family. And his family is musicians, are musicians. And he just sent me a video of himself, his dad, and his mom, maybe his brother. They were all playing this song. It's like they wrote that song that day in their house, you know, and he sent me like a kind of rough beat on like a conga drum. And that was the tune. That was the tune. I mean, and like I said, I brought that to Nico.
Wow.
He heard it, and we're like, oh, this one's already boom, boom, ready to rock, man. So Damien, he wrote that song, Immeasurable Progress. So
thank God for people like Damien.
Yeah.
If you're in a band situation, that's like a gift.
Oh, dude. Yeah, man.
That's
Damien,
amazing.
He's a special dude. And the production, the echoes and all of that kind of trippy stuff. Yeah. That's Nico, man. That's all, you know, coming from his mind.
Shout out. That was awesome, man. I really dug those rim shots. And then there's is it Raijin? Is that how you say it? Which is named for the Japanese god of thunder.
Right.
I think. And again, what I'm going to say here goes back to like space.
Yeah.
Or like sci-fi. But I mean, this might be my favorite of the new ones. Like, I mean, I really dig Alpha Centauri, having heard that this morning, obviously. But Regine, it's like, again, for our listeners, it wouldn't be at a place like music that's playing in like a futuristic coffee shop in Blade Runner. Like, it's amazing, man. Like really, really cool stuff. And then there's Rain Man, which I really like. The horns on this with like the organ, it's such a cool vibe. And the guitar comes in, it's kind of dancing in the middle of it all. It reminds me of like Zaire 74 or Zamrock comps. Stuff like that I've heard, or maybe more recently Songhoi Blues a little bit. You know, I've had a lot of people ask me like, oh, what do they sound like? You know, are you going to sit down and talk about, you know, what's going on? And I'm always saying kind of like the Afrobeat kind of thing. Like as far as influences go, Fela Kuti, do you hear that a lot? Do people ask you about Fela Kuti a lot?
Yeah, Fela Kuti is a huge influence on me. I mean, it's, you know, we have all kind of different influences like Raijin.
Yeah.
That song is similar to sort of Immeasurable Progress, how Damien, he brought that to us. Raijin comes from our guitarist. His name's Fumi Sugawara. He's from Hiroshima.
Oh, wow.
He had that idea, you know, sort of that first riff. Most of the tune he had already mapped out and brought to us, you know, as a rhythm section.
Okay.
Raijin, that's what he wanted to call it, and it all just made sense, man, and we kind of did certain things in the studio to make that what it is as well. But, yeah, Fumi, he wrote that one. Let's see, Rain Man, that was definitely a collaborative thing. We also write tunes. I'll just get the rhythm section in the studio.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of like, if we don't have any demos or have any sort of concrete ideas already, we'll just go in the studio and kind of jam and try to find something, or really just write on the spot to kind of self-edit. And then we'll have this sort of bed that I can send to one of the horn players. or, we just kind of send it down the assembly line where people start getting more ideas from it, so that's, I guess, more of a collaborative style of writing that we do. That's how Rain Man happened. That in Nico's studio, that was the first thing we recorded with Nico as a single.
I even hear some Headhunters like Herbie Hancock vibes on Rain Man.
Oh, for sure.
Which I think is like,
oh, and then you said something about influences. Fela Kuti for sure, because
Rajin in particular, I kind of hear that. Yeah,
there's it's definitely got a West African type of feel with the clave and a lot of djembe and drumming and stuff. So there's influences coming from all over the place, man. I love Louisiana music, Cajun, Zydeco, funk, jazz. I mean, it's sort of like we love all kinds of music. It just so happens, there's a West African thing that I fell into with this Sahara Lounge. It's fun to play. It makes people dance, man.
Yeah. And, about your sound, I want to say KTX has called it Alchemists of Psych Funk, Jazz, and Afrobeat, right? And we're referencing Sahara Lounge, and man, I bet the African Night is packed, though. It has to be packed. I bet it is.
Yeah, African Night's been doing great.
Yeah. It makes me think of bands like Hard Proof. I have had friends that were in Hard Proof. Superfonicos. Yeah. Nico, who's with Animeros. Actually, Nick dropped by today and was like, "Oh, Cazayoux, I'm gonna miss them." But like you mentioned the point. Hard Proof used to like sell out kind of, I feel like frequently, it seemed like, at least like the draw was like pretty much there. And you talk about West African influences and we're talking about Fela and all these kinds of things. It's all music to me that has to do with like the soul, like a feel that's transferred to the body through the beat. And the movement of the music versus like lyrics. Like there might be lyrics, there might not, Right. But there's sort of a connection to it all. What are those origins rooted in for you? Is that growing up hearing the Mardi Gras?
Yeah.
Like, and that's just like, man, it was just in my blood. It just came in. Or I guess, why do you think that sound resonates so much, like with audiences everywhere?
Yeah, it's the drums.
Yeah.
I think, because,
you're like the drums.
I definitely got into it by accident, but growing up in Louisiana, there's things called Second Line and Mardi Gras. That music is very drum-esque. And the rhythms, too, especially in New Orleans, are very, very similar. I mean, they come from Africa, and the Caribbean. And, there's some European influence there. But, like I said, when I walked in Sahara Lounge and I met Abu that day and I saw this guy who's like a master of what he does, traditional West African music, like from the source, I was pretty much enamored with that sound. And, I'm a drummer. And so when you see this music that's so drum-esque and there's so much energy and it's sort of not led by the drum, but there's just a certain feeling, all these rhythms that have been around for a long time and they still work today. Yeah. So that's, I guess, where that came into my diaspora, kind of thing, meeting Abu, Sahara, and all those African dudes there. Yeah. Doing some work in New Orleans and seeing that. And it's like, wow, it's very similar. It's a very similar feeling to play in those two different styles.
What feeling do you get when you guys get like in the zone?
Man, just bliss, just let it fly, it feels great. Yeah. To just play a lot of drums, play a lot of notes, and just kind of express yourself, man. It's an amazing feeling.
Is it like freedom? Yeah. Like when you're doing it? Because I'm trying to put myself in that situation if I'm on a stage and I'm playing this music and it's almost like a meditative thing. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And then in the crowd too, I see it kind of like just this revolving circle, you express yourself however you can and you love yourself and love what you're doing and want to make people happy and people are happy and then they express themselves and dance with you or cheer for you or clap for you or, it goes like this, man. And it's special. That's why Austin is so special because there's so much music happening all the time. So many people out here that love music, love bands. They want to support you. It's just, it's a special thing, man. It is a meditation. It's also a party. It's life, work, all the good things.
All the good things.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, lastly, I kind of like to ask folks who come in here, like, as you make your way around supporting Alpha Centauri, like, what are you listening to? Like, what are you personally listening to these days? Give me a few records, artists, who you want to give a shout out to or just kind of where your mind is at these days. Okay.
I would say today, just today, I was listening to Clifton Chenier.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of that. I love Zydeco music, the Meters. Shout out. I mean, that's just, I'm stuck in the 60s and 70s a lot of the time with my stuff, funk and jazz. I love Coltrane, Pharoah Sanders, Idris Muhammad is a great drummer. Art Blakey, Elvin Jones, coming to something more new and local kind of dudes, Hard Proof for sure.
Yeah.
Brown Out, those guys have been around a long time, and they sort of like paved the way of this thing in Austin, this sort of, funky music, West African kind of feeling thing. They definitely paved the way. Adrian Quesada and Grupo Fantasma.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of laid the groundwork for us, man. So I'm always listening to those dudes. The Animeros, they're kind of newer on the scene.
Love them. Great guys, man.
All these people, man. It's just, But as far as, what I'm listening to, a lot of different things, but mostly 60s and 70s funk and jazz and Afrobeat.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, man, I mean, you're definitely part of that fabric, and I'd encourage everybody to go out there and listen to this latest record. It's fantastic. The latest album is called Alpha Centauri. It's on Spaceflight Records, our friends at Spaceflight. It's out everywhere you stream your music. You can pick up your copy here at Waterloo Records, of course. It's on Alien Planet. Is that right? The color?
Yes.
Somebody said alien. Like, what color is Alien Planet? I'm very curious. Come by and buy it and open it up. See what color Alien Planet is. But you can get those here at Waterloo, obviously. You can follow them on Instagram at Cazayoux_music. And if you want to keep up with all things Cazayoux, you can head to CazayoUmusic.com. Forrest Cazayoux of Cazayoux, man, thank you for your time. This has been so fantastic.
Man, thank you, Gus, for having me.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And thank y'all out there for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at Waterloo Records, at Waterloo.sound for our Dolby Atmos studio, at Waterloo_wheels to follow the ongoing adventures of our Waterloo van, and at Unofficial Dogs of Waterloo to see all the canine pals that come in here and shop with us. I'd like to thank Cory Reinisch, our marketing director, Allie Lingren, our in-house engineer, Mads Lupold, of course, for helping put these together, Audio-Technica for providing the mics and the headphones, and of course, the hardest working record store staff on the planet, without which none of this is possible. I'm Gus Ochoa. See y'all next time. And until then, support the artists you love, support your local record store. And if you're in Austin, stop in and say hey. We'd love to see you. Adios, y'all.
Peace.